What's up, guys? Today I'm just gonna be making a how to wheelie tutorial. Have my phone set up over there on a tripod so you can see like an external shot. So basically, you want to go in a pretty low gear. If you can do this on any bike. I'm doing this on a fat bike, so obviously you can do it on basically any bike. If you have gears, go into basically your lowest gear. Right now I'm in my lowest gear, and then you just want to be slowly crawling forwards. Lean up over the handlebars, put your weight down, and then do like kind of a half turn just to like get ready. And then you want to sit down and lean back while you do another turn, and then it'll pop it up. So slow over the handlebars, half turn, sit down, lean back, and then pedal hard. And you're not going to get it up right away, and so that's going to take a while because it's going to be scary. And also make sure that you're always covering your rear brake, because if you're not covering your rear brake, like you can do stuff like this when you're covering your rear brake because you can coast and everything. But if you're not covering your rear brake and you go too far back, you're gonna fall off like that. And if you're going at high speeds, that's not gonna be good. And then just keep practicing over the bars, half turn, sit down, lean back, pedal, until you can kind of get it up to like close to balance point. So you're just gonna want to keep practicing doing that, and then as you progress, you're gonna want to do faster wheelies. So like once you get like find like near balance point, then you want to go in a higher gear, be pedaling just a little bit, and then do the same thing. Sit down, lean back, and pedal hard, and then the wheel should come up. The whole time that you're in a wheelie, make sure that you're staying leaned back when you're just learning, because if when you're doing a wheelie, right after you pick it up, you start going like right after you pick it up, if you start going like this and then going with your chest towards your bars, that's gonna make it so your balance points is gonna be a lot higher. So then it's gonna be a lot more scary, and you'll have less control and balance over the bike. And then eventually, once you start getting better, instead of like standing up and like really exaggerating it, you can just pick your butt up a little bit off the seat and do this exact same thing. And it's pretty much the exact same. Just, you have to do a little bit. You just have to be a little bit more, instead of being fluid with your body, you're a little bit more rough and jolty. But you don't want to be jolty with your feet. You still want to be really smooth with your feet. Otherwise, if you do that, you could bring it up too fast, and then you'll like just be like, and then you'll flip over backwards. Or if you're too jolty, you can go like that and then not be able to keep it up. So once you start getting good at wheelies and everything, the next thing that you're gonna want to do to learn is learn how to do coasters. So how to do a coaster, you just want to get up to balance point and then go a little bit past and then stop pedaling, and then you'll start falling backwards a little bit. And then once you do that, just either lean forwards a little bit or just barely tap your brakes. So yeah, just barely tap your brakes and it'll start to bring it down, and then let go so you won't go all the way down, because if you keep pulling your brakes like how you would if you were pedaling, that's gonna happen. And that's not good. So just keep barely tapping your brakes, and then until it just slowly starts rotating back down. And then as you're doing that, just keep tapping your brakes and until you can go until either you stop or you want to get some more speed. And then if you want to be doing a coaster and then like this, you want to slow down, just stay back and then drag your brakes. Like as you're doing a coaster, just rotate a little bit farther back, and then stay on your brakes a little bit harder. And then you'll slow down. The next thing that you're gonna wanna learn is completely unnecessary if you're doing wheelies, but it's doing a one hand. So it's basically just taking one hand off the bar and wheeling like that. So you can just do whatever you want with the other hand. It's completely unnecessary. You never need to know how to do that, but it's fun to do. And that's what wheelies are about, having fun. So what people have different ways of doing this. What I found the easiest when I was learning is just kind of tilt, since my brake is on my rear brake is on my right hand, I want to tilt my bars a little bit to the left, so that way the hand with my brake takes more weight than the hand that I want to take off. And then just as I'm starting to get comfortable like this, just slowly start going like that with your hand and everything, until you can get comfortable enough that you can kind of like have your hand floating there for a little bit. And then once you get comfortable doing that, then you want to try and take your hand off, drop it back, maybe for just a split second. And then eventually, as you keep practicing getting more comfortable, you'll be able to go like this, just like stay in a one-handed wheelie. But doing a one hand, you're gonna be chasing it out just right as you're learning, because if you start going like that when you first learn, it's gonna be hard to start pedaling and like pulling it back up, because all the weight's gonna be on the one hand, and then it's just gonna be hard to do. So when you're doing one hands, you wanna keep it just below balance point as you're learning. And then as you start to get better, more comfortable with just having the one hand on, then you can start kind of going back to balance point and doing coasters and everything with one hand. What helps me, like, see, I'm not even that good yet. The one thing that helps me, coming back from like a coaster or something in a one hand, is I just stick my arm out a little bit that I have off. So I'd be doing a one hand. If I have to go back a little bit, I'll stick my arm out just to kind of balance a little bit, and that helps you bring it back up. The next thing that you're gonna want to learn how to do is doing a foot drag circle. I'm not very good at them, but basically all that is just going, coasting, and then taking one foot off, dropping it back and dragging it. You just want to practice dragging your foot on the ground before you actually start doing it. So you just drag your foot like that until eventually you're going to drag your foot and then put it back on your pedal, and then just keep going. I've been doing that a lot in this videos, as you probably have seen. Well, maybe probably I did the turning around out. But and then what you want to do is you want to drag your foot and then just lean the bike over like that. And you're not going to be able to get very far at first, but well, like everything with wheelies, you just practice, and then you'll get over the fear of falling. So coast, drop a foot back, lean the bike over, and then spin. You want to try and keep it like maybe just above balance point, basically at it, otherwise you'll start falling down like how I did. And you want to learn how to do this so that eventually you can just, in the same wheelie, just keep turning around. That's still I'm working on, but you want to learn how to do that, so if you ever need to turn while you're in a wheelie but you don't want to put it down, which if you're doing a wheelie and there's something in their way, put it down, there's no point. But yeah, once you get it up, I like to kind of put my butt on the edge of the seat over here, and then just lean the bike over while I'm still fairly straight up. And for this, I like to go into the second gear on my bike, which is most likely going to be different on your bikes. Normally, if I'm doing stuff like this, I'll go in third. At just second, it's a little bit easier, because if you're in a circle and you want to come out, you want to have a lot of torque, but you also don't want to have too much torque and not enough speed, because, yeah, I'll go back to the camera and show you. Because if you have too much torque and not enough speed while you're doing a circle, you'd actually be able to circle just fine. But coming out, that would be the problem. Like, look, I can circle just fine in first gear, but when coming out, I don't have enough speed to keep the wheelie up. So I'm coming out of it, I have to put it down. But for me in second, that's like the sweet spot where I can circle, and then, oh well, that was not a good one, but it's like the sweet spot where I can circle good and then have enough speed after to pull myself out of it. Well, that time I didn't, because I started falling to the other side, but I'll try and get an example now. Hopefully I can do it. Lean the bike over, and then once you get out, just kind of power out. If you need, shift up a gear or two in a wheelie, but that's hard. That's what I'm gonna do next. This one, while you're shifting up in a wheelie, is really hard because you don't want to bind your transmission up, your cassette up and everything. So when you're doing a wheelie, I'm gonna go in first gear. This will be easier. And then just when you're like really light on the pedals, but they're still turning, shift up, shift up. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going like this with my fingers. So that's basically, normally I just have my pointer finger over my brake. What I'm doing is I'm putting my middle finger over like that, and then putting my pointer finger down here where my shifter is, so I can shift. But if I start going too far back, which you most likely are gonna do while shifting, because like all of a sudden you'll have different torque, so it'll pedal harder and then go back. You want to be able to tap your brake and then switch fingers back. It's gonna feel really awkward at first, but like when you're going, I'm in third gear, I'm gonna shift up to fifth. So switch fingers, click, and then switch fingers back, and then I'm going in fifth now. Then if I want to shift down, you want to be going like really slow, and then like while you're basically not even pedaling, like while you're coasting, just pedal really slowly. And then so coasting, so look, now I'm coasting, you should click once, there, now I'm in second, coasting while pedaling slowly. I'm in first now, which first is not very good for doing wheelies because of such a drastic difference. When I was first learning how to wheelie, I would just be going like this and then wheeling like that, basically. Not looking like that, but I'll put a clip in of what I used to look like here. So yeah, I used to just do wheelie like that when I was first learning. But eventually, when I was learning, I couldn't go for very long. So I eventually started to sit down, because then it changes the balance point, so it's not as high. So I can accelerate slower in a wheelie, because back then I wasn't using my back brake at all. I was just closed fist and then wheeling like that. But yeah, that's basically the end of the tutorial. So if you enjoyed this, leave a like, share the video with your friends, subscribe to my channel, because I might start posting more. I don't know, probably not. Possibility though. So yeah, see ya. Manuals are a different story, by the way. They're way harder in my opinion.